I just love the hush coming over the crowd. It's great to see everyone. How are you doing? I know. Is it not exciting? Before we get to the actual importance of this ceremony, which is vitally important, I have to let you know that there's a lot of mischief going on this campus right now. Have you had a chance to walk around and see what's going on with ESPN Game Day? All right. Well, so for those of you all who were at Patty Gasso's statue unveiling last week, I got the first shot on Patty. So we know Patty is absolutely humble and wanted no part of having a statue made of her. And I had the microphone first, so I walked out and I announced to her adoring fan base that we're all there and down off the hill, and I announced that I was excited we were unveiling her statue because she's been demanding one for years, which, if you know Patty, could not be further from the truth. And so she asked me today to go meet with a couple of the three recruits that are in town, and which, of course, I obliged because we all work for Patty. And I went down there, and Patty said, "Oh, I've got something for you." And then she brought me down there, and the game day team, Pat McAfee and Nick Saban, were taking hitting practice, and she volunteered me to do hitting practice. That's right. How do you think it went? I know. Did not go well. When you take a picture with me as a recipient, I ordinarily am very big on personal hygiene. It was very hot out there. And for me, there's no usable social media out of that effort at hitting. It's wonderful to be here. Campus is buzzing. It's the 5th week of classes, and it's just special. It is obviously tomorrow is the first game in the SEC, but what's really special is you go around and the spirit and the energy. We had one of the groups over at Boyd House last night, and it was President's Community Scholars, a group of 125 students who were just launching their academic journey into their careers. There's just this endless excitement and enthusiasm, and they're all about to begin writing their story. And what I love about this event and the 9 recipients that are here today is the idea of the stories and the chapters in your story you have already written. This is why we're here. We are here to honor each of you because you represent what we hope for each of our students, which is that they find fulfillment in a career where they can do good and advance their lives and their enjoyment and their meaning. So when we think about what are those events, it really is for us. When we think about who we want our students to be, those representatives are seen really in our 2 top awards, which are our honorary degrees, of which there are 3 or 4 a year, and the Regents Alumni Award. And so I think this is our 37th year. When you look at the list of individuals that are here, some of who are past honorees are here as well. We just thank you all for allowing us to honor you. And if we could, we're going to identify you all by name and go through your bios, but let's please all thank our recipients for this year and recognize them. And speaking of recognition, I have a lot of bosses here. I know each of you all are thinking, well, I'm Joe's boss too. But there are 7 that specifically have that authority, although many of you do de facto. I love in this job when they're like, it must be nice being the president. You're the boss. And I'm like, you don't know how it works, do you? I have hundreds of bosses, and 7 very specifically. And there are a number here. We have 7 that govern this university. And they do a remarkable job. I get to take credit for a lot of things, but it truly starts at the real top, and our board has done a stunning job. I'd like to recognize each of them, if I could, right now. Our chair, Eric Stevenson, who is here. Vice Chair, Anita Holloway. Chair from last year and Regent this year in her 7th year as a Regent, Natalie Shirley. Regent Rick Nagel. And Regent Rick Broad. And if you wonder, like you think you show up for a few meetings as a Regent, this could not be further from the truth. Natalie Shirley and Regent Nagel, but Natalie Shirley, you had a conflict, and she stayed yesterday for the city council vote from 6 p.m. until it finally ended around 1:40 a.m. That's a really bad board position when that's what you do. But the compensation's incredible, so it totally covers it. I'd also like to recognize those who are real, true leaders of this university as well. OU executive officers and deans and the OU Foundation administrators. Please stand to be recognized. This event is remarkable, and it's really this fascinating moment in time we're in right now. We think about the trajectory of the university. Over 130 years, the university has been here, and we hope that it goes on for hundreds more. But it really is. I've been here for almost 30 years now, and it is this amazing joy that takes place. We talked about the students that are here, but the purpose itself is special. And we sit at a moment right now that I think is exciting. It's a moment where we're doing everything we can to live up to the past and what they've done and what they've built. Earlier today, I was out on the South Oval, and I walked by and I looked at the great reading room, and which is the backdrop for the game day set. And I was speaking with one of the reporters, and they had had a tour, and they had gone through the great reading room, and they thought, this is fantastic. And I was able to explain, it is. It's one of the great rooms that I've been in, but it is much bigger than that. And I got to tell the story that my father, who came here in 1947, studied his 4 years before medical school, his 4 years in undergrad in that great reading room. And that a few decades go by, and from 85 to 89, I studied in that great reading room. And my oldest, Joseph, who's a junior, better be studying in that great reading room. And I mean, it's a life-changing place. It is special, and we know that today depends upon yesterday, and tomorrow is a product of what we do today. It's been an interesting run, and we are 4 years into this strategic plan. We're going through a refresh right now, and every moment is built around not just the statistics and numbers that you want to present to the public, but more importantly, understanding that fundamental foundation that it plays in the lives of the students and the life of the state. And it's a time when education across the country is challenged. We know numbers are dropping, and we are really thankful that we're in a very different position right now. One of the big numbers we care deeply about is that we had hoped going into the headwinds that we knew would be present that we would grow 1 or 2%, and we're sitting here now with 4 record classes, and the last 2 years haven't just been incremental. They've actually been, in the last 2 years, a 20% increase in the freshman class. And that freshman class comes with 26% of those students who are the first in the history of their family to go to college. And that's really amazing. I mean, they have, I was in the reception as we were eating tiny plates of salmon. And, a number of the honorees made the comment that I'm here today because of this place, and that's the role that it plays in so many lives. And I love, especially when you find those first generations that come in here, that their life has changed forever, and their family's life is changed forever. So, members of the foundation, we don't thank them enough, and it's amazing what's taken place. We had raised about $135 million a year towards these purposes, and we went through a restructuring. Guy Patton deserves huge credit for this, and we realized that we weren't operating as efficiently as we could, and that we needed to raise as much as we could, and we needed to have a major giving campaign, and we decided to announce a $2 billion campaign. We moved the fundraising piece over to the foundation, and they closed the books this year, 3rd record year in a row, not bringing in $135 million a year towards scholarships and excellence, but this year, emblematic of the last 3, set an all-time record of $334 million. And that really does impact lives in a way that matters. Yeah. I mean, it's stunning. Everyone talks about the cost of education, and the reality is a lot of Americans are not going to education, despite the numbers that say the best jobs are increasingly requiring a 4-year degree attainment or higher, because they look at it and they don't see the value that's there. I think one of the reasons that we're growing is the value proposition is there, and the American dream really is still living. We know a lot of folks are priced out and can't make it, but we look at this, and it's done by strategy, not by accident. But over the last 5 years, the percent of scholarships has increased by 20%. The amount of need-based aid has risen by 38%. And the average Oklahoman going to OU, who we know are disproportionately need-based as compared to the rest of the region, the cost compared to 5 years ago for that average Oklahoman is 28% down. So that's, to me, an important point. And the research engine is critical. We know that successful states that do better for their citizens and have a better quality of life are investing in research. Dean Clear is a good example of this. I saw him earlier, right? When you look at the absolute investment in research, we're now right at $400 million a year. We're among the four fastest growing research universities in the country as a percentage. So we're making our way up, and we're moving our way to that AAU status that truly is the gold standard and tells us we've reached our spot where we can tell students that if you come here, it is affordable and it is one of the best in the country. Right? That's what we're working for, is to make sure we're worthy of that. When we think about what a state provides for its population, it really is the economic ladder of opportunity and the chance for an education, which is the best way to attain it. But it's also health care. It's this idea of, can you provide for the health care of your population? And the truth of the matter is we have a lot to do in that regard. What lifts that most typically? It's academic health systems. It's those that do research-based work that lifts the health of that population. We've completely restructured that. I promise these comments are coming to an end soon. I can see in a couple of your eyes. You're wondering, is it going to end? This part's important. Then we'll turn to the really exciting stuff. But when you think about lifting the health care of the population, you've got to have a vibrant academic health system that has those subspecialists that you need whenever you're at your sickest to help lift it, and work with community hospitals and tribal hospitals and partners in a way that are really amazing. That's how you actually lift it. We were in economic trouble just 3 years ago with that faltering academic healthcare system. We were a $1.5 billion top line with absolutely no margin to pour into life-changing research. 3 years ago, we engaged in that merger this past July. And 3 years later, it's gone from $1.5 billion top line to $3 billion top line as a marker of scale and size, with 8.4% margins. That's pouring new dollars into research that is directly saving lives and reducing suffering. And we're not just located in Oklahoma City anymore. Take a look at the NCI Designated Cancer Center. It's now in Norman as well, because we know a lot of folks from South Oklahoma were not making the trip and would not make the trip to Oklahoma City. And we're now in partnership with the Cherokee Nation in Northeast Oklahoma. And we've committed to building something as big as Stevenson, as grand as Stevenson, to change lives up in Northeast Oklahoma. So a lot is going on. We could do this for the next 3 hours. You might leave around an hour and a half, so I'm going to shut this down. But I do want us to come back to the reason for this ceremony, which is the individuals that are being honored here this afternoon are exactly what we hope and dream for those students that are coming here. I mean, when you look at those, 5,600 new freshmen that are coming in, or 6,500 new freshmen, 5,600 new freshmen that have come in, and you get a chance to meet them individually and go beyond the statistics, and you listen to them talk about their backgrounds. I had one just yesterday who came up to me after a conversation when he had asked for some advice, and he asked the question, do you think I can really do this? He'd been in and out of foster homes his entire time, separated from his sister, and he had had some abuse in his family. And he turned to me last night and talked to my wife and me, and he was like, and I talked a bit about self-doubt and how we all have self-doubt. And he walked up and he was like, is that really true? Like, does everybody really have the doubts? And I was like, we do. Every one of us does. And we don't just have them when we're students. We have them every day. And I told him about losing sleep the night before because I wasn't sure I was up for something. And it was amazing because that light went off and he was like, you know what, maybe I can do this. And you know that if we do our job, that one day he could be in the seats of the honorees that are here. Our honorees don't just represent themselves. You all represent what we hope for every one of our students. We're grateful for you all to allow us to honor you, and thank you for being examples and leaders for us all. Now I'd like to introduce Marty, who is going to give a much longer address. Marty Wold, I'm going to give you his title. He's got a long title, so buckle up. Assistant Vice President for Annual Giving and Alumni Engagement, and Executive Director of the OU Alumni Association, doing a terrific job. We measure them by the size they are, not by the output they provide. Please welcome Marty Wold.
Well, thank you, President Harris. I'm honored to be here. My remarks will be shorter than that, I promise you. Since its inception in 1987, the Regents Alumni Awards have been a beacon of recognition for those who embody the spirit of excellence and community that defines the University of Oklahoma. Today we gather to pay tribute to individuals who have not only excelled in their professional fields, but have also made a profound impact on OU through their exceptional service, transformative support, and extraordinary leadership. The recipients of the Regents Alumni Awards are those who have gone above and beyond in demonstrating a deep commitment to our institution. They have dedicated countless hours, generously given their resources, and consistently championed our university's initiatives. Their contributions have not only enriched the lives of our students and faculty, but have also strengthened the very fabric of the OU community. Each Regents Alumni Award recipient is a testament to the incredible impact that one person can have, and their achievements serve as an inspiration to us all. Today we celebrate not only their individual accomplishments, but also the collective spirit of generosity and dedication that drives our university forward. I will now ask President Harris and Chair of the Board of Regents, Eric Stevenson, to come forward for the presentation of the awards. And now to introduce our first recipient, Neva Hudeberg Cochran, Bachelor of Science in Allied Health, 1974. Neva Cochran has been a registered dietitian nutritionist in Dallas for 49 years. After earning her Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics from OU, she completed a dietetic internship at Texas Health Resources Presbyterian Hospital of Dallas and received a Master's of Science in Nutrition from Texas Women's University. Before starting her consulting business in 1989, Cochran worked as a clinical dietitian in 2 hospitals, an instructor in the Department of Nutrition and Food Sciences at Texas Women's University, and program coordinator for the Associated Milk Producers Consumer Services Division. For the last 20 years, she has focused on nutrition communications, partnering with food, nutrition, and agricultural organizations to promote science-based food and nutrition information. An active member of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, Cochran has served in leadership roles for numerous industry board and interest groups, works with several Dallas area nonprofits, and is the recipient of a number of awards, including the Academy's Medallion Award and the Texas Academy's Distinguished Dietitian Award. Cochran pledged Kappa Delta sorority at OU and has been an active alumna on the local and national level, including as a member of the National Kappa Delta Foundation Board. For the last 10 years, she has also been actively engaged with OU's Nutritional Sciences Department, serving as a preceptor for dietetic interns, presenting the 2014 Nutrition Lecture for Allied Health Week, and in 2018, creating an endowed scholarship for nutrition students. Cochran has also created an endowment with the Parkland Health Foundation to honor her late husband, Don, and fund communication training for healthcare providers in hospice and palliative medicine. Please welcome Dr. Neva Hudeberg Cochran. Our second recipient is Dr. Marilyn Grass Culp, who received her Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering in 1990, did a College of Medicine residency and fellowship in medicine, and residency in family community medicine at OU Tulsa in 1996. Dr. Marilyn Culp completed her residency at the OU School of Community Medicine in Tulsa after earning her MD from UT Southwestern. She served 25 years as a board-certified family physician and has been recognized multiple times as one of Oklahoma's top family doctors. After completing a 2022 fellowship in sleep medicine at UT Southwestern, Dr. Culp now specializes in sleep medicine at the Oklahoma Heart Institute. She is the author of multiple publications and runs a rural outreach clinic and sleep lab in Henrietta. Also a 1990 Gallagly College of Engineering graduate, Dr. Culp has significantly contributed to the Engineering Summer Bridge Program and other college support programs. Culp, along with her husband Brian, not only advocates for Gallagly College of Engineering programming and student support initiatives, but donates to ensure that programming includes memorable social activities and has opened her home to Summer Bridge students. Culp's dedication extends through Brian's advocacy at his employer, Williams Companies, which has now become a corporate partner of the Engineering Summer Bridge program. Additionally, Culp is involved in the Access and Opportunity Engineering program and has worked with the task force responsible for establishing the new Dean's Board on Access and Opportunity. Culp and her husband have committed a generous donation to support the Access and Opportunity Engineering Program Endowment Fund. Culp's unwavering support, leadership, and generosity have made her an invaluable asset to the Gallagly College of Engineering. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Marilyn Grass Culp. Our next recipient is Adriana Hicks, who received her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater in 2011. Grammy-winning singer and actress Adriana Hicks most recently starred as Sugar in Broadway's Tony-nominated musical Some Like It Hot. Variety calls her a star. Deadline calls her incandescent in the role, and the New York Times adds she has a completely compelling aura of her own. Hicks also originated the role of Catherine of Aragon in the Broadway musical Six. She previously appeared in Aladdin and The Color Purple, the latter of which marked her Broadway debut. Hicks was raised in McKinney, Texas. She received her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Musical Theater from the University of Oklahoma Weizenhofer School of Musical Theater, where she was awarded a scholarship by the Congressional Black Caucus. Hicks began her professional career in Germany with stage entertainment. While in Germany, she performed in Dirty Dancing, The Classic Story on Stage, and the musical Sister Act. She also performed in the musical Legally Blonde in Austria. Please join me in welcoming Adriana Hicks. Our next recipient is Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin, Jr., who received his Bachelor of Arts in Political Science in 1997 and a Juris Doctorate in 2000. Chuck Hoskin, Jr. serves as Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation, the largest tribe in the United States with more than 450,000 citizens. Prior to being elected in 2019 and re-elected in 2023, he was Cherokee Nation's Secretary of State and served as a member and Deputy Speaker of the Council of the Cherokee Nation. As Principal Chief, he increased minimum wage at Cherokee Nation and Cherokee Nation businesses, secured the largest language investment in the tribe's history to expand Cherokee cultural preservation, and appointed the tribe's first delegate to the U.S. Congress. He prioritized health and wellness initiatives, including record investments in behavioral health and addiction treatment. Hoskin has also expanded tribal workforce training programs, sustainable housing, protections for natural resources, and educational opportunities for Cherokees of all ages. He and First Lady January Hoskin have elevated the voices and safety of women and children within the Cherokee Nation reservation. Hoskin and the Cherokee Nation have given over $1.5 million through OU Tulsa, Children's Hospital, and Harold Hamm Diabetes Center and OU Foundation to support diabetes research and treatment. This year, Hoskin confirmed the Cherokee Nation's commitment of $8 million to support the expansion of the Stevenson Cancer Center at OU Tulsa. Please join me in welcoming Principal Chief Chuck Hoskins Jr. Our next recipient is Charles R. Jones, who received his Bachelor's of Administration in Industrial Engineering, Bachelor of Arts in Industrial Engineering in 1969 and an MBA from Harvard in 1975. Charles Jones has been a fierce advocate for data science and engineering at the Gallagher College of Engineering. He was a persistent collaborator with former Dean Tom Landers and then Director Randa Shihab on the creation of the Data Science and Analytics program at OU. In 2020, following the tragic passing of his wife, Madeline Pfau, and in the throes of the pandemic, Jones thoughtfully advanced his estate plans and made a sizable gift to the OU Foundation to support chair positions in data science and analytics and in industrial and systems engineering. Jones has opened his home to alumni and friends in the Dallas area and regularly connects with young alumni and faculty. After a lengthy career with McKinsey and Price Waterhouse, he now provides industry insight, initiatives, and opportunities to others in service of his goal to make OU Industrial and Systems Engineering a top program nationwide. Please join me in welcoming Charles R. Jones. Our next recipient is Carl M. Mayhall, who received his BBA in accounting in 1966. Carl M. Mayhall is a longtime partner at Ernst & Young and was responsible for getting the law firm involved at the Price College of Business. His influence and financial leadership have led to hundreds of thousands of dollars in gifts to Price College. He is an OU alumnus who graduated in 1966 as an OU Distinguished Military Graduate with a BBA in accounting. Mayhall's recommendations, mentorship, and direct hiring have helped more than 1,000 Price students secure internships at Ernst & Young and hundreds more in jobs at the firm. Mayhall has decades of involvement on professional business boards in the DFW area, as well as on the boards of other nonprofits. He has not only invested his time in recruitment and mentorship, but has given prolifically toward Ernst & Young scholarships, President's Associates, and other areas of the university. Mayhall is a member of the Quarter Century Club and sits on the Price College of Business Board of Directors. He's been a President's Associate since 1981 and was the very first distinguished accounting alumnus at Price College, as well as a founding member of the Adams Society. He's married to Kathy Mayhall and has 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren, all living in Dallas. Please join me in welcoming Carl M. Mayhall. Our next recipient is Michael McCafferty, who received a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics in 1960. After graduating from OU in 1960, Michael McCafferty moved to California to earn his MBA at Stanford University. In 1988, he joined Mattel as Senior Vice President and Treasurer. When Mattel acquired Fisher-Price in 1993, Michael was elevated to CFO. By the time he retired from Mattel in 1995, the company's revenue had grown from $1 billion to over $5 billion. McCafferty has served as an honorary director of the Santa Fe Opera, supporter of the Palm Beach Drama Works, supporter of the Maltz Jupiter Theater, and founder of the Raymond F. Kravis Center. In his time at OU, McCafferty was active in student life, serving as vice president of Payette, president of Lambda Chi Alpha, chair of the Student Senate Leadership Training Council, and member of many other campus and academic organizations. As a student, McCafferty received the Letsizer Award, which recognizes community service, leadership, and academic success. McCafferty and his partner Joe Horton have been major supporters of OU and belong to the George Lynn Cross Society. Their generosity spans campus and covers the Janine Rainbow College of Education's Loan Forgiveness Initiative, the Donald W. Reynolds Performing Arts Center, in the Weizenhofer Family College of Fine Arts, Sooner Heritage Scholarships, and more. Accepting on behalf of Michael McCafferty is Dean Stacy Reeder. Our next recipient is Reed Pigman, who received his BBA in Business Finance in 1972. As founder and president of Texas Jet Incorporated, Reed Pigman has deep roots in the world of aviation. In 1939, his father established world-renowned flight school American Flyers, and later American Flyers Airline Corp., a charter airline. In 1978, Pigman started Texas Jet, a fixed-base operator located at Fort Worth Meacham Airport. Since then, it has grown to 24 hangars and has been ranked in the top 5 U.S. independent FBOs by Professional Pilot magazine for the last 18 years. Pigman is a proud Sooner graduate and Sooner dad. He and his wife, Pam Pigman, are enthusiastic supporters of the President's Associates Program, OU Club of Fort Worth, Phi Kappa Psi Fraternity, and the School of Aviation. In 2023, the Pigman Family Charitable Fund made a generous contribution to help construct a new aircraft hangar at the University of Oklahoma's Max Westheimer Airport. The Pigman family is actively involved in their hometown of Fort Worth. Pigman has been a member of the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce as well as the Fort Worth Country Day Board. Please join me in welcoming Reed Pigman. Our final recipient is Jim R. Yates, Business Petroleum Land Management, BBA in 1982. Jim R. Yates, who is now retired, served as president of PAR Hawaii Incorporated, the holding company for the Hawaii-based marketing and logistics operations of PAR Petroleum, LLC. Yates also served as executive vice president of retail at PAR Petroleum's parent company, PAR Pacific Holdings. PAR Hawaii manages the marketing, storage, and distribution of products from the PAR Hawaii refinery, including the operation of a large network of retail stations in Hawaii and the Pacific Northwest. Yates was previously president, chief executive officer, and partial owner of Mid-Pac Petroleum, LLC, which was acquired by PAR in 2015. Before his role with Mid-Pac, Yates served as president and CEO of Hawaii's public gas utility, the gas company, LLC, now Hawaii Gas. Yates has also held several oil and gas exploration and production-related roles with BHP Petroleum in Oklahoma City and Houston before he relocated to Honolulu in 1993. Yates holds a bachelor's degree in business administration from the University of Oklahoma and a law degree from the University of Houston School of Law. He is on the board of trustees for the Queens Health System and Queens Medical Center, serves the boards of City Mill Company Ltd. And the YMCA of Honolulu, and is a trustee for the David C. I. Charitable Trust. He has formerly served on the board at the Energy Institute at the University of Oklahoma's Price College of Business, along with boards at multiple Hawaii-based and petroleum field-related organizations. Jim and his wife Deanna, also an OU graduate, now split their time between Honolulu and Southwest Michigan and are proud parents of 2 adult daughters and 3 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Jim R. Yates. Before I introduce our chant singer for today's event, I would like to ask our recipients after the conclusion of the chant to please come forward to do a group photo with the President and the Board of Regents. I would also like to acknowledge our cellist who performed earlier, Victoria Day, who has her Bachelor of Music. She is a native of San Antonio, Texas, and is a cellist, teacher, and adjudicator currently living in Norman, Oklahoma. Victoria has a Bachelor of Music in Cello Performance and Bachelor of Music Education degrees from the University of Oklahoma. While there, she was an active performer in the OU Symphony Orchestra, serving as principal, section, and undergraduate orchestra assistant. Please give a round of applause for our cellist. Our chant singer today is Mitchell Wagner. A native of Wichita, Kansas, Mitch Wagner is pursuing a Bachelor of Music in Music Education and Vocal Performance. He is president of the Dean Student Advisory Council for the Weizenhofer Family College of Fine Arts and is a former intern with the Canterbury Youth Voices in Oklahoma City.
Everyone will stand and join me. O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A. Our chant rolls on and on. Thousands strong join arms and song in alma mater's praise. Of campus beautiful by day and night, of colors proudly gleaming red and white, 'neath the western sky, OU's chant will never die. Live on, University.